Indeed, it has been a standoff for over an hour now as police try to gain access into Equity Bank premises, which is along the Ngawa road right in the Kisumu CBD. What has been going on for the last 1 hour or so, Betty, is the fact that it is suspected that two thugs tried to gain access into the building, which they did. And then, of course, one of them, took control of the door, and the other went straight to the bank teller, one of the bank tellers in the banking hall, and tried to force her to actually give out money. And on noticing what was actually happening, the watchman went to inquire what was happening between the bank teller and the thug. And on realizing that he might actually be overpowered, he ran out of the small cubicle that the bank teller is actually sitting and started going upstairs, and of course hid in one of the many rooms inside the banking hall. And the other thug who was actually standing at the door of the banking hall, what he did was that you can actually hear the gunshots. So that's exactly what is happening. So we just try and take advantage position at the advantage position. So then we actually get to see what is happening. We can actually see that one of the fellas has actually been hit by an object. So one of the soldiers who actually just right inside who had tried to gain access into the building has actually been hit on the shoulder, but the police are still trying to access into the building, so then they can actually try to arrest the one thug who is still hidden in the building. But as I was saying, was that on realization that he actually might be overpowered, the thug who is actually still hiding himself in one of the rooms in the building went upstairs and actually hid in the room that he is in right now. And the other thing that he did that actually raised many questions was the fact that he had tear gas and actually threw tear gas at the people in the banking hall, and has also been using the same tear gas to try and the same tear gas to actually try and scare away the people who actually been the police officers who are actually trying to gain into the banking hall. The other thing, Betty, that has actually happened is that most of the staff of the bank have actually been rescued and have actually been rescued and arrested for I would say the normal procedure, where if you actually found within the area of a crime or the scene of crime, then of course they actually been treated as suspects up until that time that of course police would have done their investigation and verify that indeed they're just they're innocent, but also those who had actually come into the banking hall for business purposes to access services will also go into the police. Up until that time, the police will have verified that indeed they are innocent customers before they can actually be released. The other thing that I can also report is that a number of customers who had actually come, who actually the building at the time when the incident actually started happening, 3 of them actually fainted and they actually rushed to the police to the hospital, and of course they are being taken care of. And most of the other customers who are actually in the building at the time have also been taken to hospital and actually arrested, as I have said. The other thing is that one of the suspects who was actually standing at the door has actually been arrested, and actually he's actually in police custody. And what we are told, they were actually just 2, and they're actually having 1 gun. So we are keeping tabs of exactly what is happening here, Betty, and of course we'll be informing the viewers and listeners of exactly what is likely to happen subsequently. What I can also report is that because it was actually difficult to access the building, what happened is that they have actually called the fire brigade personnel, so that then they can actually come and try to use the hose powers in terms of the water, so that then they can actually access the building because of the tear gas that I talked about. The other thing is that they've also come with the equipment that have enabled them actually to scale the wall and gain access, gain entry into the bank, so that then they can actually try and arrest that suspect. We will be keeping tabs to get to see if indeed one of the officers has actually been shot, or what exactly happened, because the initial pictures that actually we saw there was one of the soldiers was actually holding his shoulder, and we suspected that probably could actually been shot, but we've not seen any further movement, and he's actually still up there. So it means probably he had just been hit by either a blunt object or something. So he's still going on with the operation evacuation exercise. So, Betty, exactly this is what is happening. We can actually see the police, the regional police commander himself, Mr. Karanja, leading this operation, and he's been telling us that he's certain that in the next few minutes they should have neutralized the situation, so that then, of course, normal business can actually continue on Angawa Road, which is which is actually right in the Kisumu CBD. Betty, the other thing is that the incident, as is usually the case, has actually attracted a sizable crowd, and people have actually come here and they've been milling here for the last 1 hour or so. Most of them just wanting to catch a glimpse of exactly what is happening. They've been running, which is of course pretty dangerous, but you understand how members of the public can at times be difficult in terms of containing. So they've actually been here quite early when the incident just started, and they've been up and about just trying to ensure they actually get exactly what is happening. So again, they are again going inside to just try and this has been the case, Betty, that each and every time the police try to gain entry into the bank, into the bank, there are wild cheers from members of the public who are actually cheering them on. And of course, once the gunshots begin, of course, each and every one of us scamper for safety, as you saw just when we were starting this broadcast. And that has been the routine, that when they try to gain access, of course, there will be bullets flying all over. And then thereafter, of course, things will calm down. Police will try to take control of the situation as we continue. What we've actually been told is that we only have one thug still in the building, and we also told that he only has one gun, and we also told that he has a number of tear gas canisters that has actually been using. But it has been a while now since we last saw him actually lob or throw tear gas canisters at the police. So what has been happening is that he's been shooting intermittently, probably just to scare the police or scare members of the public who actually come here as he takes his time before he's actually arrested. Police have actually done everything within their means, as we have already said, and I have seen them actually as we speak right now. They've actually just brought another equipment that will enable them to try and actually gain access into the banking hall. It's messy here, yes, and I'll just tell my colleague to actually just show what is happening. The damage has actually been here. When you look at this vehicle, just the pictures on the screen now, this is exactly what happened. This was the initial stages of this incident, when of course guns were flying all over, and everyone was trying to take control of the situation, and police were actually firing into the bank to try and arrest the suspect, and members of the public were actually running all over the place, and there was confusion. If my colleague can actually show just the pictures on the other side, the first floor of the banking hall, you can actually see also the window plates have actually been damaged, and that has been the routine. The police actually trying to get access, of course, and the thug also trying as much as he can to repulse them. But as I said, Mr. Karanja just said that it's just within a matter of minutes, and then of course they'll have neutralized him, and of course they'll take charge over exactly what is happening. Betty, so basically that is what is happening here, and we'll keep our viewers and listeners posted in a subsequent bulletin. Yeah. Yes, Betty, just before I hand it back to you, I would go again and say that this incident actually started, the attempted robbery happened at about just a few minutes to midday. We are told that two young men on a motorbike came here. One of them stood at the door, and the other one went straight into the building. And the one who went into the building went straight to the teller, one of the cashiers, to try and force the lady to actually give him money. But what happened is that the lady resisted, and what followed was a scuffle between the lady and the thug. And the people who were actually in the banking hall, noticing that something was amiss, raised alarm, and the watchman who was actually standing right inside the building went to inquire what exactly was happening. What followed then is that the thug came out of the teller booth, and started going upstairs. And when he realized that he might actually be overpowered, what he did was that he threw tear gas canisters at in the banking hall, and of course throwing everything into confusion. The other suspect was actually standing at the door, surrendered to the police officers who had actually arrived by then, and the other one has actually been hiding into one of the rooms in the bank. And as we speak right now, it's been almost over an hour as police try to neutralize the situation so that actually they take charge. The incident is happened actually along the Angawa Road, just right behind the Mokanyata sports ground here in Kisumu. And of course, the incident has attracted a sizable crowd in terms of members of the public who've actually come here to witness what is happening. The police have been doing everything within their means to try and neutralize the situation. The information we have is that the suspect who is actually holed up in the building has a gun. And we are also told that he has a number of tear gas canisters that has actually been using, that he actually initially used to create confusion in the banking hall, but also the gun that he's actually been using to repulse the police officers who are trying to gain access into the room that is actually hiding in. The Regional Police Commander, Mr. Karanja, has actually assured us that it is just a matter of time before his officers actually neutralize the suspect and, of course, take charge of the situation. I would also tell you is that apart from the one suspect who actually surrendered to the police, the other thing that has actually happened is that the staff that are actually in the building at the time have actually been rescued and have gone straight to the hospital, and then thereafter, of course, they will go straight to the police to record statements and, of course, to aid in investigation, because as is usually the case, anyone who was actually at the scene of the incident will actually have to answer, so that they'll have to actually be questioned before they can authenticate if there were abnormal customers or a suspect involved in the incident. And the other thing is that I would also report is that about 3 of the customers who were actually in the banking hall at the time fainted, of course, as a result of the tear gas canisters that actually being thrown at them, but also the gunshots that were actually being fired at the time. So they were actually taken to the hospital and they are fine, and everything is fine. Probably I will just try and see if I can get Mr. Karanja, who is the regional police commander, so then he actually tell us what the situation and what is happening. I'll just try. No, he's just walked away, but I wanted to see if we can actually just get him, so that then he give us an update of exactly what is happening and where we are in terms of neutralizing the situation. I just try and yes. Let's just see. Yes. Mr. Karanja. Bwana Karanja. Kindly just tell us where we are at now.
Now we are at Equity Bank at the Kisumu City Center. Yes.
Tell us what exactly has happened and where we are at now.
We are at Equity Bank. We are on operation. Maybe you'll give me time so that we can clear with the bank.
The incident happened at what time?
It was around 11:30. Yeah.
11:30.
Yeah, 11:30.
We have seen now the police firing shots in the building, but also tear gas. What is actually inside?
The police did not fire tear gas. It is the criminals who are firing tear gas to us. So we cannot fire tear gas. It is the criminals who are firing tear gas to us. And we have the sample. That tear gas is, I don't know where it comes from, but it's from somewhere. We don't have that tear gas. Yes, and we have the exhibit. Yes.
So how many thugs are still holed up inside?
For now, I cannot tell you. We just want to clear so that we can give you more information.
Thank you very much.
Anyone to Wananchi who are still crowding the space?
Pardon?
Anyone to the crowd around the scene?
I just want to tell the public, kindly to take care, because we don't know whether these people are armed. Anything can happen. Maybe you tell them to clear. Yes, we're trying to tell them to go away, but they don't listen to us. Yes. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Betty, that is the regional police commander just filling us in of exactly what is happening. And of course, he's rightly said that we give them time to actually neutralize the situation before he can actually give us a comprehensive details of exactly what is happening. Of course, once it is done, we'll be telling our viewers and listeners of exactly what happened here. Back to you, Betty.
Well, those are live scenes from the Equity Bank branch of the Angawa branch in Kisumu City, and that is Simon Achola just bringing us that report on the foiled robbery attempt. He has reported that a number of robbers walked into the bank and demanded cash from the cashier, who then resisted, and that is when they lobbed tear gas canisters, which the police say are not from the police coffers. They say that the canisters were lobbed, and that is when mayhem began. Even during that live link, we had a few gunshots there. The standoff is ongoing. There is one robber who is still in the Equity Bank branch, and of course we are hoping that Simon Achola and everyone in that sting operation is safe. We shall be bringing you the details a little bit later. We move